Hi, welcome to Your Time to Shine. Your hosts, Darlene and Julie.
Your Time to Shine is a radio show inviting you to explore your own divine gifts.
Wow. So Julie and I have been talking about a great topic that we see a lot of, and I see it almost every day in my business working with people and Reiki and energy work. And so, Julie, do you know people who have anxiety?
No.
Stress in their lives?
Yeah, quite a few people. There's a lot of people nowadays, especially with all the technology and the fast-paced world that we live in. It's just amplified that.
And it is everywhere. We see anxiety everywhere. We feel it in our bodies. So I have a question for everybody. Is your life exactly how you'd like it to be? Or are you feeling slightly out of alignment? Are you experiencing symptoms like chronic pain? I personally get migraines, and I know a lot of other women too. So this is often a sign that we're out of alignment and there's something not connecting between the mind and the body. And often what's causing it is anxiety and stress. So because Julie and I, one of the things that we both so love to teach is what the name of the show is, Your Time to Shine, and hoping that everybody dives deep into their own gifts. What happens from anxiety and stress, though, is we can't hear what those gifts are. We can't tune into ourselves. So we're always looking outside of ourselves because the anxiety creates a disconnect. So, and that often we're suppressing our lives, we're suppressing our emotions, and most of all, we're stopping the compass of our intuition, and we're not listening to our bodies, and our bodies are screaming, hello! And what happens is anxiety and stress show up. So, Julie, what's something that you do if you're feeling anxious or stressed about something? Or what's a sign that that's what's happening? Because we go into autopilot. So what's a sign that you're aware of?
Right. I will get very anxious, very worked up. Sometimes I go into hyperspeed. Everything. It's just like I have to get it done faster and faster. I will also get, as my family would say, a little cranky. And so there's a lot of things. My body, I sometimes will get trembly, or recently I've even been experiencing a lot. I just want to crawl out of my skin. I want to crawl out of my body and get out. And that is a very bizarre feeling to just, and I know that there's a lot of other people out there that are like that. It's just you want to crawl out of your body, out of your skin. You don't feel comfortable in your skin. And to me, that is a huge sign that I need to step back and remove myself from the situation and just take a moment to clear my head and relax my body and my mind so that I can come back into myself.
Right.
So.
And often what we do with stress and anxiety is a lot of people drink coffee.
Yes.
And that tends to make it worse, the caffeine. You're talking
Absolutely.
about trembling. So I always try and think of ways that would help the situation. And insomnia is another symptom of anxiety and stress.
Yes.
So it's really helpful to go to bed and do a clearing of your body, ask that the lights, the angels, however it is, that you feel comfortable clearing yourself energetically. And then when you wake up, if you've done it the night before, you actually wake up and you sleep better and you wake up a little more clear. But yeah, definitely insomnia is a big thing. Now, we often hear to help with stress and anxiety. Have you ever heard of this? Meditation?
Oh, yes.
Guess what? If we're anxious and stressed, because a few years ago, I ran on anxiety. I mean, that's how I lived from second to second. I had a mom who taught me that everything was a tragedy and everything was trauma and drama. So I lived that way. I wasn't able to meditate. So
Yes.
There's so many people out there, they hear, do yoga, meditate, do mindfulness practice. Well, I'm here to say that doesn't work for everybody in the beginning. And there's often steps that are required for you to actually first relax the nervous system before you can meditate. So for everybody out there, if you were told to meditate or do yoga and that's not something that you're able to do and it's more frustrating and stressful to try and do it, it's okay. So instead, ask yourself, what is it that you can do first to relieve your stress and your anxiety? And sometimes, go for a walk, go for a drive. And doing that before you start a meditation practice for some people is much more helpful. So I had a client come in the other day, and she said, people are telling her she has to do yoga, she has to meditate, and she's a very high active, very fast moving person. And I said to her, well, would you feel better if when you're feeling anxious and stressed, you go for a run?
Right.
Like, wow, I never thought I can do that. Will that help? Everyone's telling me I need to do yoga. I said, everybody's different. If you feel, and you best, if you think your body would relieve and release stress better by going for a run or going to the gym, go do that instead. Meditation is not always the answer. And if you would like to at some point meditate, first try, getting your body to do what it likes to do. Because it is meant to meditate right at the beginning. There's nothing wrong with you if you can't. You just have to find your own way.
Yeah, I'm really glad that you mentioned that, because I found it very, very hard to meditate in the very beginning stages of finding my gifts. And that was not something that was easy for me to do, to be able to sit. I'm very active. I'm a very high energy type person. And so for me, going out and going for a walk, or sometimes even sitting down and writing. I could sit down and write, but to sit down in complete silence or try to do yoga, that did not work for me. I have since found how I can do that, and there are certain times that I can, but there's still certain times that I just cannot sit down in a meditation, and so I have to find different ways to talk to spirit and to relieve that anxiety rather than through a meditation.
That's right. And I'm glad that so many more people are aware of that. There's so many other ways out there to release and relieve the meditation, the stress and the anxiety. And oftentimes, too, this anxiety we find leads to depression.
Absolutely.
So overwhelmed, we just want to go hide because the world is so overwhelming and so overstimulating. And it's the nervous system that forgets how to shut down. Mm-hmm. And one of the practices that I teach my clients, and something, if listeners are out there looking for something to help alleviate stress, is Reiki. So with Reiki, you can either receive it or learn Reiki, take a Reiki training. And the Reiki training is actually a personal development tool to help you with your spirituality to help you, not just to give Reiki sessions, which often people think Reiki is, oh, I'm going to become a practitioner. It was actually meant first for the person who's looking to develop their self, their true self, a foundation, a spiritual practice. So I would recommend something like that. Massage works for people. Anything that you can do, because if you're experiencing things like migraines, depression, anxiety, stress, chronic pain in the body, it's your body telling you something's up. So rather than being angry at your body, ask, what else is possible? What can we do here to help relieve the overwhelm the body is experiencing?
Right. And on another note with the Reiki, I've with Darlene, I practiced access consciousness and bars, and that started me into opening up my gifts a little bit, because it taught me to understand the flow of energy through the body and how to detect that and what to do with it. So practices like Reiki and running bars and things like that is a really great way to start and to get in and find out what it feels like to have energy flowing through your body or somebody else's body.
Right. And it's also a great way to recognize what relaxation is supposed to feel like. We often forget. So, oh, this is what it's like. And then the body is like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to feel like. And the more often you go to that state of relaxation, the body will then be able to censor itself and be able to trigger itself back into the peace and calm. And also, one more thing before we take a caller, is when we're feeling frustrated, feeling out of alignment, and having this anxiety, and we can't communicate with spirit, and we're having a situation in our lives, we reach out, we go outside of ourselves. So I just wanted to bring up something that to think about. Who is it that you're reaching out to? Is it somebody who's going to add fuel to your fire? Is it somebody who's going to increase your anxiety? Or do you have somebody you can talk to who will help or walk you through the steps towards a more relaxed state? So think about who you're reaching out to, because it might be somebody who's going to stir it up even more so.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah. And also one more thing, when you're feeling anxious or nervous or stressed, you can also say, okay, who does this belong to? Because we're energy bodies, it's not just ours that we're feeling. Sometimes the overwhelm and the overstimulation it could be your partner, it could be, your coworkers, it could be your family. In my case, it's usually my family. It could be your neighbor. We're energy beings, so we pick up people's anxiety and stress all around us. Who does it belong to? Return to sender. So you can give it right back to them. And I guarantee at least half the time you'll feel better just by saying, return to sender. I promise.
Absolutely.
So, are you ready to take a caller?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
All right. Yeah. Patty, I see, is on the line. Patty from Lincoln, Nebraska, you are on the air.
Hello, ladies.
Hi.
I'm from Lincoln, Illinois.
Ah, Lincoln, Illinois.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show.
Nice and cold here.
I bet it is. So, do you have a question for us?
Yeah, I was just wondering, do you see anybody around me? Any spirits around me?
Oh, yes.
I have a question for you, Patty. Do you sense them?
Excuse me?
Do you sense when spirits are around you?
Sometimes I get signs and I doubt myself, and I think, well, that was just something else. Or You know, I never know if it's like if I'm really picking them up.
Right. So do you see them, or do you just like sense them in your body? Do you actually see?
I sense them, but my granddaughter sees them.
Oh, cool.
Very awesome.
And when you're sensing the spirits around you, is there anyone in particular that you pick up on?
Well, my little brother, I pick up on him occasionally. But I would like to pick up on my dad, which I haven't picked up nothing from him, but my granddaughter has.
Yeah. Is there, so you said a minute ago about signs, that you sometimes have signs that they're there. What's a particular sign that you've been aware of?
Well, I lost my car one time in the big city. We couldn't find the car. And I looked up, and there was a sign. It said Adam Street, and that's my little brother's name. And I found my car there.
I love it.
That is so
I
awesome.
was like, I just was like, oh, there's got to be a sign from Adam. He helped me find my car.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a beautiful story.
That's awesome.
I would recommend when little signs like that happen, you write them down and keep a journal so that you can actually see how often it is happening. And then that will diminish your doubt in yourself.
So,
yeah,
Patty,
I thought about that also.
Yeah. Here's something that you can do. It's kind of a way that I started out. So when you sense somebody, or you sense spirit, just, say, spirit, is that you? Ask a question. And if you feel a real lightness in your body, or like a balloon is being blown up in your body, that's a yes. If you feel that you've got this tug, like someone is pulling a rope down from your stomach down to the earth, that's a no. So what I would recommend is practice it with things that you know to be true or false, right? So, practice it with, my name is Patty, and see how you feel, see how your body responds. Because a lot of times spirit will, they will use us as a conduit, and just say, okay, spirit, I am going to use my yes, no, and my, it's kind of like a body, what's the word I'm looking for, Darlene? Not body processing, it's body testing there. Sorry. So it's like like muscle testing. Thank you very much. So you can tell spirit, I'm going to use this to communicate with you. I'm going to use this muscle testing. My yes is going to be very uplifting and light. My no's are going to be more grounded and in the pit of my stomach. Start with things like that, and then test them throughout the day, just on things that you know to be true, and see how your body responds. And then from there, you can take it out and go bigger and bigger. What I'm getting is maybe the reason that you're not able to connect was with your dad. Is that who you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, I think he's having trouble figuring out how to communicate with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he hasn't found that right technique. So it doesn't mean that he's not there, that he's not present with you. Because when I see you, I immediately saw a couple of spirits standing on each side of you. They're flanking you on either side. So you definitely have them around you. So it just means that you need to find the communication route. Sometimes if you turn on a radio, they'll throw a song at you. Or so a lot of times what happens with me is I'll wake up in the morning with a specific verse of a song in my head, and that's them trying to get to me and help me understand something. So really pay attention to all kinds of different ways of communication that they're trying to reach you.
Right. Thank you. Yeah. I did get a song on my dad's birthday, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
I was doing the dishes, and I turned on my radio, and it was one of his Elvis songs he always sings.
Yep.
And it was just,
there you go.
And I got a beautiful, beautiful feeling inside when it happened.
Yep, absolutely.
Yep, that's the knowing. So also what you can do every day is say barriers down, which means we often protect ourselves and create shields and walls because of what may be on the outside of our home. So if you say every day, barriers down, my walls are down, and I'm ready to receive the communication, because your dad is right there behind you. Did he have
that's so great.
Did he have a sense of humor, Patty?
He did. Yes, he did.
He's behind you, like, with a big smile on his face.
Oh, that's so wonderful. Thank you.
Bright light.
That's great.
So have fun with him. Like, if there were things that he liked to do, places he liked to go to those places or do those activities, and you'll probably instantly feel a connection with him, because he's there, he's with you all the time.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah. He's a bright light. So bright.
Oh, that's just so great. That just made my whole life. Thank you.
You're welcome, Patty.
You're welcome.
And remember, keep a journal, because you're going to start seeing how often, how frequently that you're actually communicating.
Okay, I will. I sure will. Thank you so much.
And Patty, don't doubt yourself. Do not doubt yourself, because what you're receiving is absolutely what you're receiving.
And play with it. Make it like a game. Make it fun and light, and it'll happen easier.
Yeah, it was funny you were talking about the meditation when you started, because I'm having a heck of a time meditating.
Oh.
Yeah. And that's okay. Actually, Patty, what the funny thing is that I have a long commute to my office. And so I actually turn the radio on, or turn it off, excuse me. And that is my time to connect. And I get the most profound things when I'm driving. It's really bizarre. So just because you can't meditate, that doesn't mean anything at all.
No.
Good, because I've been trying so hard.
It's just a method that works for other people. You have to find your own method. Do you like being near water, Patty?
I do.
Yeah, water is a really good conductor for spiritual connection and grounding and relaxation. So whatever that is for you, a bath or a lake, if you live near water, take a walk near a stream. Yeah, that sitting and meditating, it doesn't work for all of us. And if it does work, it takes a while to get the body to that place before you're able to do it. I'm
having a heck of a time.
Nope, yeah. Try other things.
Yeah.
But I'm a grandma of 16 kids, so you just don't find that time.
Oh.
Yes. Oh, my gosh. So, Patty, I'm getting that, look into getting like one of those little water fountains that you can plug into your house, and you just add water to it.
Oh, yeah, those are beautiful.
Yeah. I'm getting a sense of you getting one of those.
Oh, okay. Maybe that'll help me to get calmer.
Yes.
And listen, pay attention.
Yes. Absolutely.
And breathe.
Well, that's just...
Take deep breaths whenever you think about it.
Excuse me?
Take deep breaths whenever you think about it. Sometimes I'll go for hours without, taking a deep breath. The body likes that.
Okay.
Great. Well, it was wonderful talking to you, Patty. Thank you so much for calling in.
Yes, you girls too. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a lovely night.
You too. Bless thee.
Blessings to you. Oh, that was fun. So, yeah. Remember out there, folks, meditation is not for everyone. You find what works for you, and that pretty much is anything in life.
Right.
It doesn't have to be what everybody else is doing. You figure out what's right for you, and then you tune into your own gifts that way, rather than being out of alignment using somebody else's practices.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. It's your time to shine.
Right. Exactly. And don't forget to check us out on our Facebook page, Your Time to Shine. And you can connect with us there.
And do what brings you joy. And then you'll find yourself in more of alignment.